6 days ago. PHP 8.2 got released. Woo! Yeah. It's a milestone. Yeah. Oh. It's okay. It's okay. And one thing that PHP 8.2 released is like one nice thing. We got now read-only classes, and PHP Storm is so nice to us. It even has a helper that changes all the properties from read-only to the read-only class. So if you missed it, let's go back. You can see public read-only here. And if you do the refactoring, the read-only is missing here. And so all the attributes of the class are now read-only. Why do we actually need that? So normally, before the read-only times, you had to write things like, you had to make your own setters for every attribute. And yeah, it's kind of, let's say, kind of boring. You always had to write, data setters. That's the wrong one. I know you saw it. I need the getters. That's the right one. Because you had to write the getter for each attribute that you are using. But with read-only stuff, you can now just change it to public read-only, or just make the whole class read-only if all the attributes are read-only. So you can encapsulate your code much better. Yeah, and as you can see, if we do a new object here and want to set the object, you see PHP Storm is already saying, no, don't do that. And if you run it, you will see that we get an error. So it's even fatal error, so your application is breaking. And it says cannot modify read-only properties, and that's a nice way to make it more secure for your object, that nobody can just modify it in a case they shouldn't do it. Okay, that's a nice part of it.
Is it an error if you have a read-only property inside a read-only class? Like if you double it up?
If you double it up, yeah. Okay, so...
No, just like add read-only to one of the properties.
Yeah.
But still make the class read-only. I just want to see if that's...
yeah. If you go redundant.
Yeah. I forget to... Okay, so it's just a...
You get an error if I run it.
The error is telling you the same.
Yeah, it's telling you, but it's running.
Not an error, okay.
Yeah, it's just redundant. It even says, yeah. PHP Storm is, our boy is helping us. It's good, that's good. Okay, that's the first thing I want to tell you. This is read-only classes. Let's move to the next one. Okay. That's actually a big one, because PHP 8.2 deprecated now dynamic properties. So if you go something like this, it actually works. So if you run it here, you will see that, no, it actually does not work. we get a fatal error again, and it says that dynamic properties are no longer working. This is actually a breaking change, so if your code does rely on something like that, it will break, so you need to modify it. There are some ways that you can change this with annotations, stuff like that, but I would recommend just to refactor it to a standard way, because you can use it differently. If you comment this out, there's actually a way how you can still use it. If you got your post class, you just need to implement your magic setters and your magic getters. So don't worry about implementation. Let's make it like this. And if we implement now our magic setter and getter on our own, it still is working. So if you run it now, you will see that not working is working now. Okay. Yeah, now it's better. Yeah. So as you can see, if we're doing the setter and getter, it still works. So PHP wants to move away from this dynamically typing things and that the developer must be a little bit more strict with the code, so he can't just do anything that he wants to do. But it's still allowed, so because when you just add the setter and getter magic methods, it still works.
Pretty controversial change, right?
Yeah, it's actually pretty big, yeah. Okay, Yes, actually you can use an annotation on the top of your class. I'm not sure what's it called. Let's go here to brand, our master of everything. He knows it. Do I find? No clue. Hey, here's another blog post, I think. Annotations, where are you? Yeah, you can use allow dynamic properties, and then it actually will also work. So you don't have to do the getter and setter stuff. So, but that's, I think, only with PHP 9, I think this also won't work anymore. So they want to get rid of it. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the next one. That's a kind of funny one, because now you can just have standalone return type, because you can now define a function that's just returning true or false or null, and now you think, that's completely useless, isn't it? Yeah, if you use it like this, it's completely useless. But the nice part is, where can it be useful? It's for the legacy code that PHP is still running, like file gets contents. If you go to the declaration inside here, we will see here the return type that's false or string, because it's like the old way of programming things. So if you get the contents of the file, you will get the string. If it's not working, you will get the false as Boolean back. It's not throwing exception or something. And to handle cases like that, we need standalone return types, because normally you could only return like a string or Boolean. Please, okay, like this. Okay, I can't type. And this would say that it would return a string or true or false, but that's not correct. It should be something like this. And that's now the nice part about the standalone types, that you can actually type in the old code, or like the old way they did the PHP way, and we get better hints with our IDE. Okay, let's go to the next one. Any questions? No? Okay. I'm not sure if you ever used this, but I was using it in some projects and it always confused me. I wish also I hadn't to use it. But UTF-8 encode and decode, and the nice part is it's actually just encoding ISO 885912 to UTF-8 or backwards, and that was kind of misleading. And so they brought up a new way how you can handle it, and that's this one. We can now use multi-byte convert encoding. It has 3 attributes that's relevant for us: the string, which we should from encoding into encoding. So if you run this, we will see, yeah, that's perfect, because now we can't read it. But if you do the same again and convert it again with the other one, we'll get 2 strings. The one is encoded with the ISO standard that we can't read actually, and the other one is actually converting it back to UTF-8. So, and the nice part is you can actually use it here and you get like auto-completion. So you can just look what standards are there, like the good ISO 646 IRF 90. The classic. I always use this one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I actually like this, because now this is more declarative to write before the old one. Okay, but let's move on. There are more nice stuff coming. One cool way is that now you can actually write constants and traits. Wow. Amazing, amazing. Currently, I have no use case for that.
I was about to ask.
But yeah, but some people on Twitter, they're pretty hyped for it. I had no use case for it. And it's kind of strange, because when you got the class as well, like class foo, class bar, let's go with that, and you use the trait foo, then you can't use the constant as well. Yeah, it's not working, because already foo is already using the constant, so the constant won't get overwritten. So if I run this, I don't know what I get. I just get the warning, but it's
No.
no. Wait. That's a false. That's the warning from file gets contents. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a fatal error because you can't redeclare that. And this could be sometimes tricky if you got many trades and stuff like that. But your ID is helping you out, and yeah, it will just say, hey, you already defined it somewhere, and that's actually.
Can you access it like in a function?
I think that's the point, right? Like that you can just do self.
Yeah. So if you got
Can you just do it inside of the trait or out? Like
No, I think the point is that you can then use it in the class that uses the trait. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just do self.
That makes sense.
That can be useful, right? If you want to have some common things.
Yeah.
Maybe like HTTP status codes, for example. Maybe you have a trait
Yeah.
like, oh, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that could work actually. Yeah.
I just don't use traits a lot. That's why.
Yeah, I actually don't use them as much as I should maybe, but that's a cool way to extend everything. And I think if you find the use case for it, why not? Because before it was kind of strange that you just couldn't use the constant there. Okay.
Traits have always been kind of weird, right? They're like it's called like language enabled copy and paste.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what they do.
Yeah.
Copy and paste
Yeah.
stuff into the other class.
Yeah, and it's different from inheriting stuff.
It's not a
It's-
type.
yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can't type it against it.
Yeah.
That's why I hate them.
Okay, let's move on.
I mean, it makes sense as like a default implementation for the interface. That's why most often I think seed induced, right? You want to have an interface, but then like make it nicer for the like client, right? So like you don't want to have to manually implement it. You just provide like a trait. That's like the default implementation.
Yeah.
That's so you still have the interface. That's the thing you can type it against.
Yeah.
But you can still like provide the.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually would work, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. That's pretty hard to pronounce. Is disjunctive normal form types, yeah. Don't sleep now. It's very complicated words, but actually it's pretty easy. So they just combine intersection types and union types, so even more complex words. So let's go one after the next. So what are intersection types? So intersection types, that means that we have like two interfaces. Like I have an interface, like contract, has ID and has title. Let me show you how I implemented them. So here are my two interfaces, has title and has ID. And it says that we need now an object that implements both of them. So if you got the class article, and it implements just has title. So let's do that. And we pass it here, generates like new article. It's already complaining because it must expect both types. So it needs to implement the has ID interface and the has title interface. So if you add the has ID here and implement the methods, you will see now it's actually working. And the nice part is, because before you couldn't actually do that you have different interfaces that it says it must be combined, and now you can combine it even with a union, so you can say, hey, you can just even pass a null here, and then do the null check inside there. If it's null, you just return an empty string or something like that. And I think that's a pretty nice type to get a pretty nice feature, new feature that you can actually make your more clear what should actually be passed, what should be passed inside your function now. And yeah, it's more type safe.
And I think it encourages composition more, right? Because
Yeah.
you have smaller interfaces.
Yeah.
And then instead of having just a giant one that implements everything.
Yeah. That's true.
Do you know if the syntax allows you to have spaces? Like,
Yeah. You can just have spaces. It's like it's just I just removed them. So
Is the intersection type also new? I think
I'm not sure if the
combination, right? Like
Yeah.
syntax wasn't possible.
Yeah, you can use intersection type, I think, like this
Yeah,
before,
You can chain.
but you couldn't chain it with the union type.
Yeah,
You couldn't
because
chain
it
it.
was ambiguous
Yeah.
Like what's the intersection, what's the union? Because
Yeah.
you couldn't put parentheses.
Because before you couldn't now pass null into it. It wasn't actually possible. There was no way that you can achieve that you can pass now null or null inside it. And sometimes it happens that null get passed into functions, and we want to handle that and not break our application. Like this awesome God I wrote. And yeah, actually that are all the cool features that I wanted to show you. On the PHP page, you will find like all the features here, like the read-only classes or the DNF new, and all the new features. But I always would recommend to go on Brent's blog post. I think that's like the way to go to get all the new things that are released in PHP 8.2, because he's always doing nice YouTube videos about it, and yeah, and his blog post is just awesome. He describes everything, what's actually happening, why it's happening, why they do it, links to the RFCs, stuff like that, and you can go pretty deep.
It also gives a good example of like why you would want to do this.
Yeah.
Like some of the features on their own, like true, false, null things. Like
Yeah. Why? They actually don't make any sense. Why do you actually need?
JetBrains,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he now works at JetBrains, so okay. Yeah, that's everything. That's everything I got for you.